Welcome back to Global Voices. I'm Alfredopassos and with ginashorovska. Today we are looking at something simple on the surface, but complex when you dig deeper: the social media divide between Latin America and Europe. Here's a big number: over 400 million active social media users in Latin America. Brands are reaching more people than ever. Social media uses at all-time high in both Latin America and Europe. But here's the catch. More reach does not mean more loyalty. In fact, it often shows the opposite. So today we are asking, why does scale sometimes show weaknesses instead of strength? And what can brands learn from how these two regions use social media? Gina, when you see a number like 400 million users, what do you think?
400 million users and still a loyalty gap. That is the part that actually fascinates me because when you hear a substantial number, you automatically think scale equals strength. But in reality, scale exposes the cracks. The truth is, the digital landscape of Latin America is more like a mixture. It's vibrant, connected, and emotionally charged. Meanwhile, Europe is a puzzle where every country holds its own social logic. Today, we will unpack the numbers and then go one layer deeper into the motivations, behaviors, and cultural microstructures that shape how people interact with brands online. Because data tells you where people are, but culture tells you who they are. And this divide between the two regions is exactly where the opportunity sits for brands. Once you see the pattern, you can stop treating these markets like monoliths and start seeing them as ecosystems.
Okay, let's get real here. When Skull mapped out Brazil's emotion during Carnival, raw samba vibes from Bahia versus those drone shots from São Paulo, they got 11 million shares in 72 hours. That is using differences in the right way. And Nubank, they proved Latin America is not just one big market. It's more like 20 different startups wearing the same code. There are memes about the rating paperwork killed in Mexico, while in Chile, grandmas backing digital banking on LinkedIn built real trust.
Alfredo, you're right about the numbers. But here is the part that usually gets overlooked. Euro 59% penetration, it's not low, it's layered. It reflects multiple digital cultures operating under one roof. Southern Europe is community driven, emotional, and hypersocial. Northern Europe, on the other hand, is efficiency driven, privacy focused, and almost, we can say, transactional. So when brands look at Europe and think, oh, we have 59% penetration, that's straightforward, it's quite the opposite. Because penetration does not equal predictability. And that is where many marketing strategies fail apart. Latin America, they use social media as a lifeline, Europe as a tool. Same platforms, completely different psychological drivers. You do not sell to a number, you sell to a mindset. Brands keep treating Europe like one strategy, one tone, one message. But the digital behavior in Denmark has nothing to do with the one in Spain. And Spain has nothing to do with Germany. Once a brand sees that, the numbers suddenly feel almost misleading. That is why data alone will never tell you how loyalty forms. It only tells you where people are, not who they are.
And that is the crazy part. Tok Tok in Brazil, Magazine Luiza turned lip sync videos into actual blender sales with their one hashtag. Get this, 67% of buyers were over 35. In Argentina, WhatsApp became a Flavia's secret weapon during tough times. CEOs send voice messages like, "Hey buddy, buy this fridge today," triple their sales. The bottom line? Casas Bahia builds loyalty by singing happy birthday through WhatsApp. 83% of people use it because down here, business work through happiness, not hustle. Brazilians share their ID freely, but hide their relationships while Argentinians post their divorces. The real trust patterns, they are reading in the culture itself.
Let me anchor this with two extremes that illustrate the whole story. We have Instagram in the UK and WhatsApp in Spain. These two countries could not be more different digitally, even though they sit in the same region. So, in the UK, Instagram is on stage, a beautifully curated, beautifully controlled stage. People go there to refine identity, not just document life. Everything is intentional: the tone, the aesthetics, the brand narrative. If you don't have a point of view, you disappear. It's that simple. Instagram in the UK is less "look at me" and more "this is who I am becoming." And Spain is a different rhythm. WhatsApp is their digital living room. It's warm, it's fast, it's emotional. And when a brand enters that space, the expectations shift. You cannot act like a billboard. You must act like a neighbor. People expect proximity, not polish, speed, not spectacle. Platforms are not channel, they are cultural rooms, and brands need to match the room they enter.
Gina, from the research, what surprised you most?
Honestly, the platform choice is never about technology. It's about cultural temperature. The UK values structure and distance. Spain values immediacy and emotional closeness. So, of course, one gravitates towards a broadcast platform and the other towards a messaging platform. Brands often think they are choosing channels, but they are choosing social norms they must adopt. Um, my biggest surprise was how deep these patterns run. It is not about preference, it is an identity. You can update an app, but you cannot update a country's emotional DNA.
Gina, if I am a brand manager right now, what is my first movie?
Okay, so three things, and they build on each other. Let's get us a little bit practical. If you're managing a brand today, your strategy starts with three moves, and they simply build on each other, as I have said. The first one would be read the emotional climate on the market. Is the market seeking connection or control? Do people want closeness or want clarity? The single question determines everything. The second thing would be choose the platform based on behavior, not on audience size. Instagram activates identity. WhatsApp activates intimacy. TikTok activates spontaneously. Facebook activates community memory, and the most important thing is do not chase reach, chase relevance. And of course, build loyalty the way the region understands loyalty, something that we talked on episode 1. Latin America wants emotional presence, so brands that feel human. Europe wants consistency and credibility, so they need brands that keep up their promises. And if people do not feel you, they do not follow you. Full stop, as a brand. Loyalty is not built on posting, it's built on presence.
Next time we are going to talking about privacy. Why does Europe treat data like a currency while Latin America treats it like background noise? Same technology, completely different rules. That's next time on Global Voices. I'm Alfredo Passos. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Alfredo. Next time, we are stepping into a topic that changes everything, which is privacy. But not the legal version, the emotional version, the psychology of trust. Why does Europe treat privacy like currency? And why does Latin America treat it like background noise? Same platforms, same tech, but completely different ideas of what safe even means. And once you understand that the strategies are starting writing themselves.